So I just spooked a trout to right here. No way I can get this thing to eat, right? On the nymph, he's right next to this rock right here. Oh, he's looking at it. Got him. Come on, net. Where you at? No freaking way. Okay, I'm 3 miles deep in the Colorado wilderness, chasing Rio Grande Cutthroat Trout at the headwaters of the San Juan. The stream's super difficult to access. I'll talk more about that when I get down to the water. That's still my biggest challenge, because this is what we have as our path down. I don't know how well the GoPro will display it, but I'm basically just gonna yaws my net, put the GoPro into my bag so everything's in it, and just hands and knees kind of slide, climb down there. There's a lot of good water starting over here and some big pools, and it's just beautiful. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can actually get down to the water so we can catch some fish. Okay, well, committing myself to this. Okay, net's down. Now time for me to get down. Okay, GoPro's in the bag, but to give it a description of what I'm going down, basically straight up and down. Going down the valley. We're getting there. Good to see you again, old friend. Just to show you what I came down. Yeah. River at last. Whew. That's what we came down. Pretty much straight down. Look at that. Well, we're finally down at the river. Yeah, it was a pretty grueling hike. I am very, very remote. To kind of paint a picture, I'm about 30-minute drive on paved roads from the nearest town. And then after that, go about 15 minutes on a rough, Forest Service road. And then you got to hike in about 2.5 miles, climbing about 1,600 feet, especially the first quarter mile being about 1,200 feet of it. So it's pretty intense. And then to end it all, the bushwhack down. But yeah, this section of river is the headwaters for the San Juan. I'm deep in the wilderness, and it probably only gets fished, once or twice a decade, maybe. Where I am, they may not have seen a fly in 20 years. Only one website, blog, even page on the internet even mentions fishing this area of the stream, and it's just one short blurb about how difficult it is to get here, but how it is, not pressured at all because of that. So today we are chasing the elusive Rio Grande Cutthroat Trout. In this section of river, there's the Rio Grande Cutthroat, wild bows and wild browns, all through wild. So hopefully I can get my first cutthroat. But yeah, if not, just have a great day out here. Hopefully catch some trout. I've already seen some action. There was a trout rising right over by that rock about 5 minutes ago. And I saw like 1 or 2 more at the bottom of that hole, and also at a hole up there on my walk downstream to start. So they're here. They probably have never seen a fly. I'm gonna be doing really small presentations, little midges, pheasant tails, here's ears, maybe some really little mayflies. But yeah, so that's the sitch. I've got my 6'6" 3-weight and my 10-foot 3-weight. And the reason I've got these 2 different rods is mainly due to the line. I've got kind of specific lines for them, and they're really meant for different things. So on my smaller setup, that is really, really locked in for dry fly and some dry dropper fishing. Whereas my longer setup is for tightline nymphing or streamer fishing, and that's mainly due to the lines I've got on them with their certain tapers and weights and how they're overloaded, underloaded, or just loaded equally. But yeah, I'm gonna start my 663 with a dry or a dry dropper, probably like a midge, and a midge, as boring as that sounds, but that's what's hatching right now. It's November, it's cold. You can see a midge right there. You can see ice at the edges. But yeah, so I'm gonna get rigged up, see if I can catch me some fish. Okay, rod's rigged up. Like I said, I got that 6'6" 3-weight. It's a Gray's wing stream flex rod. Really love this rod. It's done me fantastic. On that, I've got the Hardy Ultra Click. Then for the line, I've got an Airflow. It's like a tactical, maybe tactical taper, 3-weight, so it's weighted correctly or equally. Yeah, but that's ready to go. On there, I've got a little size 18 midge dry fly that I'm going to start with on the top, just solo fishing the top water, or a dry fly. And out here in the wild, it's going to be very crucial to see how reactive these fish are. You know, they haven't seen a fly in decades, so every single cast is going to tell me a lot about the fish. You know, so today I want to go very slow, make the right cast, and each hole may only need a couple of casts, 5 to 10, for me to completely pick it apart, as long as I do it correctly. And that's just going slow, starting from the back, not scaring fish with our fly line or vibrations, seeing how they react to each fly. If I put a good drift with a little midge dry fly up and it goes right over them and they don't move for it at all, they don't want it. But now, okay, what if they swim up like they're gonna eat it? Oh, they turn off last second. Okay, something about it was a little too big, the color was off, or something, they didn't like at the end. So every single cast and drift and reaction is going to tell me a lot. It's going to be very important on a wild, unfished stream in the wilderness in November. So yeah, I hope we can get them to come up for a few, or take a nymph, or take a streamer, and yeah, put some fish in the net and hopefully land my first cutthroat. But first, just going to enjoy one last thing. Get a little J going, puff on that, and then we'll be into fishing mode. Okay, I am ready to go. Been here for about 30 minutes stalking these fish now. There's about 5 or 6 right in here. 2 big ones, look like they're 18 to 22 inches. 3 smaller ones. I can't quite tell what they are, either rainbows or cuts. I don't think they're browns. But yeah, they've been kind of all right there, moving around. It looks like they're eating nymphs or something down low. Nothing's rised yet, other than one of them that kind of backed out of that pocket and slowly went over to that big rock, and he ate up on the surface over there. But like I said, I'm going to start with the dry and see if I can move any of them, and otherwise I'm going to switch to a nymph. And now the biggest 3 mistakes I could make to ruin this hole and scare these fish. One's right obvious right there, my shadow. If I let that cast over the hole, I got to be careful right now with the sun, with my shadow going this way. The best play would be to walk downstream over there so that my shadow casts onto that bank and cast up. But here on my knees, I think I'll be okay, and I think I'll get a better drift coming in from this angle. And that brings me into thing number 2. Do not let your fly line go over the fish. Fish like this, it's going to spook them. Make sure to only have your tippet leader go over them. And finally, ground vibrations. Do not be too loud as you creep up to this to make your first cast. So yeah, I'm going to set up the camera and see if any of these wild wilderness trout want a midge. Okay, I had a few really nice drifts in there. I didn't spook any fish, but they showed absolutely no interest. There's also a few midges, and maybe even I just saw a mayfly bouncing on the surface, and nothing's coming to rise, so that tells me these fish probably aren't going to rise. potentially by that rock, if that trout is still under there, I may get one over there if he's still hidden under there, so I may go take a quick cast or two. But for these ones, I'm gonna need a nymph. So I just spotted that fish hovering right in front of that rock. So I'm gonna see if I can sneak up right there, cast up to it, and catch him on the dry, because I think he would potentially take it. Then I'll come back with the nymph for them. Okay, he was eating, but he also seemed to have no desire to rise. So I'm gonna switch to a nymph. And I think due to how this hole is, I'm not gonna really be able to tight line it well. So I did just see a big moth, although there's no hoppers. I think I'm gonna throw it under a hopper, on a hopper dropper, just to kind of use it as an indicator and not be as intrusive as an indicator. And hey, who knows, maybe these wild trout will be dumb and go for a hopper. I doubt it, but yeah, I'm gonna get that tied up and see if I can get something on that. Okay, I'm rigged back up. Got a hopper and a little soft hackle nymph under that. Hopper's acting more as an indicator. I'm gonna see if they want the nymph. Woohoo! Oh, we did it. First cast over him. Could not resist the nymph. One of the big ones too that I saw in there. Hook out. Well, he's not a cutty, but it is probably the most beautiful, beautiful wild rainbow trout I have ever seen in my entire life. Ooh, he's full of energy. He's got to be like a cut bow or something. Freaking incredible. Freaking incredible. Let's get him back to where he belongs. Hopefully he doesn't tell his buddies to not bite. Look at that go. That was incredible. My plan worked, and that's exactly why when you're out here fishing for fish this wild that have never seen flies before, probably in their entire life, that you have to be observant. Start slow, start easy, work your way out, don't spook them, and observe and learn what they're doing. Pretty quickly I learned they're not gonna come rise. So, nymph it is, in first cast. Oh man. Just incredible. I saw him going for it too. I didn't even need the hopper, but that was incredible. I'll show you here. Just a little, yeah, soft hackle with an orange bead. Some orange wire, little nymph I'm using. Put that about 2.5 feet under the hopper. How can you beat that? How can you beat that? You can't. And I'm wondering, just due to those colors, so the San Juan, or I mean the Rio Grande Cutthroat Trout is really yellow and prominent, and that, like, looked so much like it, so I'm assuming that was a cutbow. They're not as common with the Rio Grande Cutthroat as they are with the greenback cutthroat. Greenback cutthroats are more known to populate out of their species, but that, I don't know, a cutbow, beautiful bow, whatever it was wild, and it was a stunner. It was big, you know, probably 16, 18 inches on the 3-weight. You can't beat that. Let's see if I can get any more. That very easily could have, you know, spooked out the hole, but it also couldn't. Wow, it also couldn't. Yeah, that just wasn't gonna work. It may have spooked the hole, but it also may not have. Let's find out. Okay, when I caught that last one, there were a lot of others with them, like 4 or 5 others. They don't seem to be there anymore. I'm guessing that commotion made them all scatter. I'm still gonna take a few more casts because trout, when they don't want to be seen, can be nearly impossible to be seen, especially if they don't move. So I'm gonna take some more nice drifts through there, see if there's anything else. And if I spook them, well, I got unlimited stream ahead of me with unlimited more trout to catch. As expected, it looks as though that commotion scared all those other trout into hiding or pushed them upstream or downstream. I'm gonna see that one by the rocks there with the caster too. And yeah, then we're gonna go up to the next hole. Pay attention when you're wading. You know, the rocks have been pretty good and grippy. We didn't see whatever that stuff is. I just took a really hard fall. I'm lucky I didn't break this or hurt myself, but whew, that was painful. Watch out on these rocks. Okay, so I found the next hole that I want to fish. It came up from right there, but rather than just jumping straight into it, I came up here to observe. So far, I haven't seen much, but back down at the bottom of that very deep current where it's really fast. Oh, nope, he's actually right there now. He just moved out. I've seen one big one swimming around that area. Oh, I actually see 2 now. There's 2 big ones probably around the size of the one I just caught. And they just seem to really be patrolling out through in here. Oh, now he's actually come closer to me here. So yeah, there. Oh, okay, I see 3 now. See, this is why you want to observe. You know, I've been here for about 5 minutes before I hit record, and I'd only seen 1, and I was like, okay, you know, maybe there's not too much in this hole. I thought there would have been more, but as we sit here, we see there's a lot in here. They seem to be patrolling around pretty aggressively and eating. So once again, I think the nymph is going to work. I think it's going to be the same as before. You know, these holes that we pick out, the odds are, you know, you're catching 1 fish out of it, and that catch is spooking the others. So you got to come into them smart, come into them precise, pick your holes, pick your casts, and maybe here we can get lucky if we isolate one on this side and catch him. You know, over here, that won't really spook over there. So I'm going to deepen my nymph. It's about 2.5 feet deep, but this hole looks like it's going to need to be about 3.5 feet deep to probably convince some of these trout to eat. So I'm going to go extend the depth on that, and then we're going to see if we can pull anything out of here. So considering the weight of the camera gear that I already have to bring, and that is even without my Panasonic, which on a trip like this, that is far too difficult to bring 3 cameras as a solo filmer this deep into the wilderness with bushwhacking and the tripod. But I also didn't want to carry any extra water weight, So I just brought one small little water bottle to be able to get me here, and then I'm gonna leave the rest up to my handy dandy life straw. So before I fish this hole, I am going to get some nice refreshing water and yeah, hydrate a little bit. Just anywhere there's moving water, fill it up and throw the filter on and you'll be good to go. And bam. Nothing is better than fresh mountain water. Woo! Let's get it. Okay, well, surprisingly, I pulled nothing out of there. So I'm gonna take a little quick lunch break, eat a sandwich, and then get working back upstream. And yeah, that really tells me I'm gonna go one more hole with my setup. And if I see fish and I get nothing again, it's kind of telling me that, hey, I need to either switch my fly, maybe just a different nymph, or it could also mean that, hey, I need to switch up the way the nymph's presented and get away from a dry dropper rig, switch to a tight line style or a swing style. But yeah, I'm gonna eat a quick snack, hike up to the next good hole, and get back to fishing and evaluate the situation there and see if I can figure out another trout or not. There are 3 giants hugging that rock. Super hard hole to fish. Don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I'm going to try and sneak some casts in here. There are some big fish, really big fish chilling under that undercut. Yep, what I expected. That hole is just so hard to fish with this tree here. It eliminates casting from here. So you have to cast from here or there to fish under there, but the current pulls you there, and my shadow's casting over. I don't see those fish under there anymore. I bet you they still are, but my guess would be they tucked down under there, they felt my ground vibrations on the rock, or they saw my shadow, and they're not gonna bite no more. So yeah, beautiful stream. These holes are just incredible, but very, very difficult to fish at the same time. But who cares? Okay, we're back to a hole where I should have the advantage. It's finally big and slow again, giving me time to really get down to the bottom. And here, for the first time, I've got trees which are gonna perfectly shadow exactly where my shadow would be, so I don't have to worry about that. I saw one swimming around here up on this close shallow edge. I'm gonna see if I can't creep up there and pop me another one. And yeah, I think for now I'll just throw this on the chest cam maybe, or find somewhere cool to put it for a good shot. I doubt you can see him on this GoPro, but there's 2 right there, like 3 inches past this log. I'm in a bad spot right now because if I move, oh, he was about to eat what he thought was a bug. So yeah, they're perusing. He was gonna just about to eat off the top, so a midge would maybe work. He just popped up on what he thought was a midge, But these guys are perusing. It looks like they're eating. Now they've moved a little bit. Oh wow, one just completely moved. He just shot downstream. But I'm gonna see if I can get set up and get me one of these. GoPro while keeping him submerged in the water, other than this one pop out and back in. Okay, hook's already out, keeping him in the water. It's cold. We should be fine at this time of year. Guys, I think we finally did it. Although I can't see the elusive cut mark along his chest, to me this is everything that a Rio Grande Cutthroat Trout is supposed to look like. If I, you know, pull up a picture on Google, this is what we're doing. Look at those beautiful colors. Freaking incredible. Okay, now once again, just grab a quick release. Get this guy off back to where he belongs. Off he goes. We did it. We got number 2. So I started with me seeing them here at the back of this hole, but I think I honestly spooked them a little bit, and then casting over to there was just too difficult. So I got to a spot where I had a good downside angle. I noticed around this big boulder, it also cuts, and there's a little gully to the left. First cast, he was sitting right in there waiting to munch on it. Took the nymph again, and it kind of confirmed for me that it's not really the nymph. I think they'll kind of eat whatever right now since they're wild. You know, a big piece of food presents itself, they're gonna eat. It's just presenting it to them without spooking them, like, at all. So, fish number 2, that was pretty freaking sweet. Pulled him right out of there. Can't beat that. Can't beat that. Well, I'm gonna do some more exploring. I think there's about an hour left until we hit like 5 or 4 p.m., which will have given me 5 hours of fishing. I got here at 10. It was about an hour to hike the 2.5 miles in, and then so I got here at around 11:30 down here, fishing for about 4 or 5 hours, and then I'll have to find a way back up to the path to hike out, and it's just incredible. Freaking incredible. I am still in disbelief for what just happened at the start of this hole. Yeah, I think I was in frame, so I think you'll see my like shocked reactions. So basically, I popped up here. There was one right here. I was sight fishing him. Slow drift. He actually starts rising for the hopper, and he just comes up super slow, opens his mouth, and just like tastes it, takes a lick, and then zooms off. Then I start sight fishing one right here, and the first cast to him, I'm so focused on him, I didn't realize there was one hugged on this rock. So I'm watching him, and out of nowhere, one just freaking blows up the hopper like a shark. And I tried to set the hook, but I was just a little too late. But freaking crazy, 2 on the hopper, fish are active. Let's see if I can get some in this next hour, and that might be some motivation to throw on the chest cam, because I've been kind of lazy about doing it. Because y'all probably ain't gonna believe me, but that was pretty nuts. So yeah, I'm gonna throw on the chest cam, work up again. You know, once you spook them, they're done in this stream like this. So this hole is done, on to the next. I think I'm recording, right? Sweet. Okay, this convinces me that both of my last fish were cutthroat. Because this looks like a bow, and he doesn't have any of that yellow that is so notorious on those Rio Grande cuts. But look at that healthy bow. Another really healthy fish. Back into the hole where he belongs. I was watching him for a while. Took him longer than I thought to come eat it, but he did. There's something dead in there too. Now that I caught one out of this hole, well, there could be another. I'm just gonna assume I've burnt it out, so I'm gonna go see if I can see what type of fish is laying down there dead at the bottom. But yeah, this has been just incredible. An incredible day. 2 cuts, a rainbow. Got a little more fishing, but it's getting late and I've got, you know, a long hike out of here, so not too much more. Let's go see if we can figure out what this thing is. If I can reach it. Ah, no, a brown. There we go. Well, hey, I caught all the 3 fish. The brown made it in, a rainbow, and 2 cuts. Woo, the grand slam. But that's not good to see. He looks like a healthy fish. I wonder why he would be sitting here dead. So I just spooked a trout to right here. No way I can get this thing to eat, right? On the nymph, he's right next to this rock right here. Oh, he's looking at it. Got him. Come on, Net, where you at? No freaking way. Well, now I have a legitimate slam with a live brown trout. So that's so funny. I'm just on this little side stream, the main stream. It's not a side stream, but where it runs off. And I actually spooked this fish. Ooh, he unhooked himself. I spooked him. I saw him run from right here. I can't tell what my camera can see. Up to this rock, and he shot back, and that's how I even saw him in the first place. And then I just put that right in front of him, and he took it. I'm gonna pull out my phone for just a quick little net photo of him, and then we'll get him released. Come on. Lay down, buddy. Lay down. Oh yeah, there we go. Wow. Okay, well, I've now caught a rainbow, a brown, and 2 cutties. This is incredible. Relax. We have completed the grand slam. Come on. Off he goes. Woo! Well, I got the one that I saw rise, first cast, right where he was. It makes total sense that here in this deeper, darker, cool side, we're finding browns now. Pretty awesome. Easy. Look at this beautiful brown, y'all. What a day. What a day. Look at that beautiful brown. Impeccable. Freaking-impeccable. Woohoo! This is what I love, y'all. You know, when it comes to the San Juan River, when you hear people, whoa, is this part of a bone? Oh, we got a big chunk of femur. Oh, I shouldn't have thrown him in there. This hole I actually probably didn't scare everything off out of, but I don't care, it don't matter. But, yeah, he was just right on that seam right in there. Took that nymph again. But like I was saying, you know, I'm on the headwaters of the San Juan. When you think of the San Juan, everyone thinks of the 3-mile stretch under the Navajo Dam. And granted, well, that's an incredible stretch and I still really want to fish it and go drift boat fishing for my first time. This is what gets me out here on river that is unfished. You know, like I said, you know, it's probably been decades, if anyone, you know, to fish this exact hole with these trout when they were alive, you know, maybe no one. And hunting and finding these fish, you know, big drives and then big hikes and, you know, working my ass off scouting and really coming in deep into the wilderness. That's what gets me going. Woo! Man, there must have been some sort of stove or something over here, mining operation here a long time ago. I don't know what that is. Over here too, I found some cables, some actual cement, but a lot of it looks like it's from forever ago. But unfortunately, my adventure for the day has to come to an end. As you can already tell, the sun's pretty much down, and that means cold. It's getting cold fast, and I can already feel it getting cold fast. So yeah, basically I just have to bushwhack up just that way until I hit trail. Should be over that first ridge, and then I'm good. So that's just gonna be hands and knees climbing. I'm not gonna record that, it's gonna be too hard. I'm gonna put my rod and reel away, throw the GoPro in the bag again, and get out to the trail. And then I'll do kind of a final closeout. But what an incredible day. Just stunning. Absolutely stunning. Look at that, look at that peak up there. The river, just, Okay, it's time for me to start hiking though. Well, it's time to get on my hands and knees, start to climb up. It's pretty steep. The goal here is just gonna be to dodge anything that looks green and living and only try and step on and destroy dead stuff. But say we got a small little animal path going up right there. I'm gonna just follow that till we return to the trail. Okay, I made it up off the stream. I just climbed up. Pretty much you can see the other side of the valley and the stream down there through the trees. It was a pretty hefty climb up, definitely exhausted. And now I got about 2.5-ish mile hike back. And yeah, I'm just gonna take it slow, enjoy it. Luckily, this whole part is almost down other than this next like 100 feet. It's all down. But yeah, to recap, we got 2 browns, a rainbow, and 2 cutties. All 5 actually on the soft hackle nymph. I did have 2 attempt to eat the hopper, which was really cool. One of them like actually did properly eat it, and I just missed the hook set. Like I said, I was really zoned in on the fish I was trying to sight fish, and it almost like kind of scared me when it came out of nowhere and blew it up. And then the one that came up really slowly and just tasted it. You know, I didn't even bother setting because I could, you know, I was right there and I could see that he didn't get the hook. Gave it a taste, felt the foam or whatever, and was out of there. But 5 beautiful fish. Could have had 2 more, but I don't care. You know, if I came here just to catch numbers, you would have seen it. I would have fished a lot differently. I wouldn't have sat down and rolled and enjoyed a joint while observing the trout for 30 minutes before making my first cast. You know, when I got to each other hole, I wouldn't have spent 5 minutes observing and studying the trout and seeing the bugs and what was going on. But I'm just happy I got my first cut. Rio Grande cut. I will have to confirm that. I still am a little sussed out that it's a cut bow due to the fact it didn't have a definite, you know, cut, you know, that red cut mark on his cheek, but I don't know. I don't care. Beautiful day. Beautiful day. We're 6.5 hours from the nearest international airport. 2 hours from the nearest regional airport. You know, right now, counting walk and drive, you know, 1.5 hours from the nearest town. Just in, by town, I mean small town. If you want to go city, which isn't a big city, it's going to be Durango, which is still 3 hours from here at least. So we are deep in the wilderness. Untouched fish. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And yeah, okay, I've talked a lot today. I fished. I've got a lot of incredible content. Excuse me. Tomorrow's Monday. Tomorrow or Tuesday, I'm hoping to run to the Rio Grande, the headwaters for that, which are on the other side of the mountains I'm on right now. So that one's more driving, but less hiking. My goal isn't to go quite as remote as I did today. And then I start work, so I'll be at the Wolf Creek ski area in Pagosa Springs, Colorado. If you're out there skiing or boarding, you know, don't ever be afraid to holler at me. If you know I'm on the slopes, or, you know, reach out, and yeah, I'd love to meet any viewers and talk skiing or boarding or talk fly fishing. Just, you know, have a good time, meet in real life. I think that's something that's always cool. But I'm actually gonna stop talking now. I'm gonna get the hell out of here and enjoy this nice peaceful hike back as the sun proceeds to set over the mountains. But yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for what we got coming next. And as always, tight fucking lines, everybody.